Hi guys, John here. I'm going to be talking about the brand split today. The brand split from 2002 to 2010 around was a big thing in the WWE. It happened when WWE bought WCW and the entire Invasion storyline was done. After that, they made Raw and SmackDown two separate brands, and they had a draft lottery where Ric Flair drafted for Raw and Vince McMahon drafted for SmackDown, and made it for some great moments. Like, you had the Survivor Series matches, Raw vs. SmackDown, you had the interpromotional matches, and it really helped build new stars. Like, they would bring in stars, they would bring them up from developmental, put them on either Raw or SmackDown, mainly on SmackDown, and then they would build the stars, and then put them over to Raw. Like, the biggest person I can think about this for is John Cena. He came in with the rapper gimmick, and he was on SmackDown, and he was built up on SmackDown until he won the WWE title. And then he was drafted to Raw, and he's been a major player on Raw ever since, and he rarely appears on SmackDown now. But they would build these new stars on SmackDown, bring them to Raw, and if they didn't do well on Raw, bring them back to SmackDown, or keep them on SmackDown, or whatever. It just made for some good TV because more people got pushed, and more wrestlers got pushed. Yeah, they had to be good on the mic to get that push, but they were good in the ring too. I really liked how they had the brand war. When they did the draft, the first draft lottery in 2002, they really had no big competition, no direct competition to go up against, and that was really all they knew, I guess, for a while, because of the Monday Night War. So they did this, and they did brand warfare, and basically made WWE versus WWE, and it made things a lot better. Like, a big match during this war would be at Survivor Series, the 5-on-5 Team Raw versus Team SmackDown Survivor Series match that they would do. And it was just really good. The brand split is always something good, and in order to do it, you need a huge pool of talent. Enough main eventers for Raw and SmackDown, a huge array of mid-carders, and then the lower card guys that you're ready to push up. That's what you need. Then you could successfully perform a brand split. TNA doesn't have the depth for a brand split. They really only have 6 or 7 main event players, so it would be bad for 3 on one brand, 4 on another. It just wouldn't make for good TV. They don't have a deep enough talent pool to be able to pull off a brand split. WWE now, maybe they do have a good amount of main event upper mid card people, but they can't really rely on them because most of them they have are heel, and they need more faces for them. They would also do the brand exclusive pay-per-views, which was really good. You'd have the World Heavyweight Championship as the main event match for the SmackDown pay-per-views, and then the WWE Championship for the Raw pay-per-views, or vice versa, depending on what brand the title was on. And it really helped the mid-carders too, because they would have more mid-card rivalries, and these mid-card rivalries wouldn't be overshadowed by the main event rivalries that are always going on. Like, you usually had 3 main event rivalries, and right now 3 main event rivalries, and the mid-card rivalries would get overshadowed for the pay-per-view, and all you would see on the pay-per-view was the big guys that a lot of people end up not liking because they're bland and boring and don't really do anything. The brand split also helped make the titles mean more. At the time, you had the WWE Championship and the Intercontinental Championship. Wait, the WWE Championship, Intercontinental Championship, World Tag Team Championship, and Women's Championships on Raw. And then you had the World Heavyweight Championship, United States Championship, WWE Tag Team Championship, and the Cruiserweight Championship on SmackDown. And then there were probably a few more here and there. And they would do the Cruiserweight division for SmackDown. It worked. People on SmackDown would actually go for the World Heavyweight Championship and want the World Heavyweight Championship. And you had people like Batista and Undertaker and all these big names holding the World Heavyweight Championship. And then you had John Cena and Edge and Randy Orton with the WWE Championship. And then they would actually go for the mid-card titles too, the mid-carders. They would actually want the mid-card titles instead of saying, I'm going to be the next world champion, and then losing every match. It made the titles look more prestigious, and it made you look at it as a kid and be like, hey, I'm going to grow up and I'm going to be a United States champion. Today, not so much. I'll probably end up talking about the meaning of titles today in a future video. So, there are a few downsides to the brand split. Usually, what people would do, the casual fans, they'd be told if they watch Raw that SmackDown is bad and they shouldn't watch SmackDown, then they don't get to see all these better talents. And then if they watch SmackDown for the first time, they're like, oh, Raw is bad, don't watch Raw, they suck. And it made less people watch Raw. So that's a huge downside to the brand split. But overall, if they don't go that far with it, the brand split works. But you need a huge pool of talent to do it. Could WWE pull it off today? Possibly. I mean, they have the upper mid-carders that are trying to break out into the main event scene that could be on SmackDown. They have the established main eventers that could be on Raw. And then they have the Divas title and the tag team titles cross-brand, and the Divas and the tag teams cross-brand. If it's a tag team match, it could be cross-brand, but if it's a singles match, they have to be on their brand. Overall, they could end up doing it, and they have that huge pool of talent that they can bring up from NXT. They've really been working down there to make the next stars, and they have big stars down there like Corey Graves, and a lot of people don't like him, but Bo Dallas and Cassius Ohno. I've seen NXT. It's pronounced Cassius, which I think is weird. That's at least how I heard them pronounce it. No more off the top of my head, but I know they have a huge array of talent down there. They have El Generico, Sami Zayn. So any of them are ready to come up and be big players, I'm sure, in at least the mid-card scene for a while. So that's all I have to say on the topic. Like the video if you want, leave a comment, subscribe, do whatever. Like I always say, I don't care. Just do whatever you want. I don't beg for it. I just say it as something to say. So talk to you guys later.